Falling is good. Hi, my name is Diana, and let's think about this together. So, I'm sure you're wondering why anybody would say falling is good when the act of falling itself causes pain, limits you for a few seconds, causes hurt, and brings you down. Why would I say that falling is good? If you've been around kids that are learning to walk, and let's see, for instance, that you're a first-time parent, and you start to express some sort of sadness or fear because a child that is attempting to walk hurt themselves, you'd see people around you who are more experienced, who have seen this act happen severally, say, "Oh, don't worry about it. Falling is part of the process. Every child that is learning to walk must fall." And then you wonder, a child must fall to walk, and a child who does not walk at a certain age would become a problem, a concern. But for you not to have that concern and that worry about your child not walking at a certain age where biology has stated that this child should be walking, the child must fall. So this goes to the saying, no pain, no gain. And the natural things that happen and the natural processes that happen in our life, like you give birth to a child, the child can never and should never attempt to walk on the first day. The limbs, the whole body is not ready, doesn't have that strength yet to stand straight. The child has to, after a certain period of lying flat, learn to sit, learn to crawl, learn to stand, gain balance, and learn to walk. You see, that process is on that subject. But today, let's stick to falling and rising, and falling as an important path or phase for rising. It is said that we learn from our mistakes, we learn from our falls. The question is, do we have anything to learn if we don't make mistakes or we don't fall? Is it possible to learn? Yeah, maybe from somebody else's falling. But it's never the same as when you fall. Because when you fall, you have absolute knowledge. Your brain would master that act of mistake. How do kids learn not to fall after several falls before they walk? Their brain learns the act of falling and rising. Their brain learns the act of that mistake. Their brain masters how to prevent that mistake. So when a child falls, he feels a certain pain that registers in the brain. And whether you accept it or not, the child also registers the mistake. So I didn't take the next step fast enough. I took the second step too fast. That's why I fell. So the next time, if you study kids, is that when the child stands again, this child stands for a few seconds where people are excited, especially if it's the first few attempts, where people are excited. And that few seconds where the child does not make a step, the child is thinking. The brain is calculating the last fall, the last pain, the last mistake, and what to do right this time. So the child stands for a few seconds, staggers, try to gain his balance while calculating all the things that he or she did wrong the last time when he fell and felt that pain. And then the child takes a move again. Now, I don't know how many times you have fallen while trying to make a move. I don't know how many times you have set a target, set a goal, and you have not been able to meet it. Or you met all your targets and goals, yet you failed at the final result. Because guess what? When the child stands the second time to make an attempt after the first fall, there's a 80% chance that child will fall again. Because that's the second attempt. That doesn't mean that the child did not set goals, did not spend time to crawl and sit and hold on to places and walk. That doesn't mean that the child it's not going to eventually work. Every one of us on our feet today as adults went through the fall time before we walked. So take this as an experience to every time and every attempt that you have made at something and failed. Every friendship and every relationship that you gave your best but yet failed, you're learning to walk. If you're single today and you were in a single, divorce, separated, and you were in a relationship that was abusive and you gave it your best, or it wasn't abusive, you gave it your best, but you guys were not just compatible, just take it as a child that fell. Learn from it and move on. Now, if a child falls the second time, or after the child fell the first time, and the child decides not to get up again, the child becomes an issue. The child becomes an area of concern. The child becomes a burden, not just to herself, but the child becomes the burden to the society. The child becomes a burden to the health system because they start taking the child to the hospital. The child becomes a burden to her loved ones. If you allow yourself to fall into depression and anxiety because something is not going right or something has not gone the way you wanted it to go, you become a burden to yourself and your loved ones. If you decide not to make an attempt again because the first attempt did not work, you become a burden to yourself and to the society. And you can do better. You're stronger. All you have to do is get on your feet and try again. Get on your feet and try again. Get on your feet and try again. Because even in this ocean of enemies, there are still friends who believe in you. And I believe in you. But never forget this, that I am the voice, and together we're a gift to the world. Like, share, comment, but most importantly, stay strong. Until I see you next week. Bye.